welcome to Would You Rather with our very special guest, Mr. Jarvis Sheffield, proud graduate and professor of Tennessee State University, entrepreneur, husband, father, administrator of the Black Science Fiction Society, which is how we hooked up, and so much more. This week, we will be discussing two films, Outside the Wire and Stowaway. If you like this episode, please click that thummy thing below and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Mr. Sheffield, thank you again for joining us.
All right. Thank you for inviting me. This is really exciting.
Yeah, right. All right. How is life in Tennessee these days? Always want to know. Caroline's in Florida. I'm in New York. We like to get the temperature of different locations. How is it with the plague sort of ending now and all of that?
Well, it's still a little touch and go here in Tennessee in terms of COVID. You know, you have probably about 30% of the people have been inoculated, and probably about 30% are not wearing their masks, have not been wearing their masks. I'd rather be safe than sorry, you know?
Absolutely. I hope there are more thinking like you. How about that? Yeah.
I hope so too.
I think that's a really, really good attitude. You know, Florida's attitude is we'd rather be economically successful than sorry.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're kind of dancing between now with some of the restrictions being lifted. I feel like they're being lifted a little early. And so that's also opening up opportunity for resurgences and more people to get sick. And like I said, I'd rather just be safe than sorry. Even with having events, we still have events and things like with Thanksgiving and Christmas, we had 6 people over, family members. But as you came through the door, you were handed your care packet with your mask, with your hand sanitizer, with your wipes, everything. And we had social distancing in the house. And we have a decent sized house, so everyone kind of had a chance to spread out. And so we actually made a kind of a joke of it. So if you sneeze or cough, get ready because you're about to get sprayed with some disinfectant in the immediate area.
All right, so let's move on to talking. Actually, let's talk a little bit about you, Jarvis. I gave you, the quick intro of you because you do so much.
These are the consequences of undiagnosed ADHD, doing just too much stuff all the time. But I'm privileged to be able to work with young people at Tennessee State University, which is a HBCU. I'm the coordinator of the media centers for both downtown campus and main campus. And we deal with all the videos and DVDs and recording and things of that nature, technology for like classrooms. So that's my day job. So I get to play with fun educational toys and teach others how to do the same. And so also I am the director of the diversity track with DragonCon. And that's been a wonderful experience. DragonCon normally has like 80, I think on the ground, the last one we had 85,000 people at DragonCon. So it was amazing. It kind of just takes over Atlanta and for 5 days. And it's just, I told someone it was like having Ready Player One in real life. So with all those characters running around every direction, that's what DragonCon looks like. And I'm going to move on to something else. Okay, Black Science Fiction Society. Lots of stuff. Black Science Fiction Society is a online network of people around the world that like science fiction, Black people and our friends and family that like science fiction. And so over the 13 years that we've been doing it, we've been able to do 2 anthologies. We're working on a 3rd. We have a magazine. We did a radio show for about 6 years. We kind of took a hiatus since COVID and have been able to participate in dozens of different conventions around the US. So that's been a great experience. And more recently, I'm a recipient of the Kate Wilhelm Solstice Award. And so, which is like a lifetime achievement award for science fiction. And that's an award that both Carl Sagan has won, that did Cosmos years ago,
Sure.
kind of the precursor to Neil deGrasse Tyson on that
Right.
show, and Octavia Butler, Nisi Shaw. And so joining
Wow.
those, just being mentioned in the same sense with Octavia Butler, just has me over the moon. And lastly, I'm trying to complete this doctorate within the next year. So in education, I've been doing research on utilizing online video games as educational tools.
Wow. And see, now you're on Would You Rather. So it's just like a career high after high.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, I love that you end with, on my side note, I'm getting a doctorate. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, whew,
Hey, I'm
I
playing
love-
catch up with my wife. She completed hers last year.
oh,
And
okay.
so yeah, she's Dr. Sheffield and I'm Mr. Sheffield. So I'm trying to play catch up.
Why don't you just take us home, Jarvis? What made you pick these two films, Outside the Wire and Stowaway?
Okay, well with Outside the Wire, pretty much anything Anthony Mackie's in, I've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
I gave it a chance, and it actually was really surprising that it was really in depth. I thought it was just going to be like a quick, a bunch of explosions and special effects, but it actually had an interesting story.
Sir, looking for Captain Leo. You must have really messed up if they sent you to Leo.
Well, I
Cool.
feel like these are very of the now. I mean, if you look at Outside the Wire, and it's just all about like how much are we entrusting essentially our military to things that we can't control. So this is actually not like an Onion headline. This is
Uh-huh.
Wired, a science magazine, is asking, are
Mm.
AI powered killer robots inevitable? They also have another um piece about the Pentagon, letting AI weapons essentially. So it's exactly basically the plot, except it's Anthony Mackie instead of these drones. I'm curious if you liked. So did you like both of these movies, I would just love to hear, and you too, Bruce, since you guys are both Black Science Fiction Society. Did you feel like these movies did the subject matter justice? Because these are two like very real themes, right, in the zeitgeist.
I
I,
think
Sorry,
oh
I was going
go
to defer to you. Go ahead, Jarvis, because
oh
you're the professor. As far as if the movies do any scientific justice, I obviously have my opinions on the movies. I liked watching both of them, but I'll go to you for scientific justification.
okay. Not sure why that is, but I think it's very, very interesting in terms of believability and probability.
Mm,
But I'm concerned because I think it's kind of like a update on Terminator, and both on the movie and in the AI technology in real world. I was telling my wife, I was like, this is Terminator was I was hoping it was entertainment, not a how-to manual. Some of this stuff it was in a lot, well, all of this started off in science fiction. And I tell people it's I think it was Asimov that said today's science fiction is tomorrow's science fact. And
mhm,
that's kind of true where you have things that you've seen in Star Trek or whatever, the flip phone or the communicator became the flip phone, the flat
mhm,
screen, the tablet computer. So and even the 3D printer was, based off a replicator on Star Trek, which the main company called MakerBot, its 3D printer is called the replicator.
Oh,
And
I didn't
so,
know that. That's cool.
oh yeah, I have one at school. That's how I know. But but all of this stuff is probable and can happen in the future because, like I said, stuff that we see in sci-fi, it gets people's minds going in terms of how can we make this happen for real? And as we see, those sci-fi artifacts are now things in real life. As an example, um, Jesse Russell created the technology for the cell phone. He's a graduate of Tennessee State University. And that communicator is now something we walk around with all day, every day, the cell phone. And so having that character, that technology actually reach that level is definitely probable. And it's just a matter of time before it actually reaches that level. Because as just look at, I'm not sure if you guys have an Echo or Google Mini, those things are amazing. Those are
Yeah, I
like
don't.
sci-fi objects in cartoons and sci-fi things when I was a kid. Now we have them sitting on our desk.
You talk
Well,
to it and it does stuff.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
for
have
that
one.
You
very reason.
Yeah. Yeah. No, me neither. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I'm a
That-
technophile, so and I work with technology and media all the time. So I have to kind of experiment. Some stuff you won't know how to operate unless you just proficiently, unless you have it. So I have both of them to kind of test them out and stuff. So and know what to look out for. And it's really interesting um seeing this stuff develop. So when I was watching this movie, I was like, yeah, this is it, this is amazing. When you found out that he was a robot.
You're up. You're commanding officer. I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to deal with it.
Yeah,
the
it was
AI
super
in this
cool.
movie, I mean, the tech in this movie was cool.
It was
Effects.
amazing. It was amazing, and I really enjoyed the film.
Cool. Cool.
And then, of course, Stowaway asks the question that Elon Musk just kind of flippantly asked, which is, yeah, well, a bunch of people will probably die when we're trying to head to Mars, which, of course, is what the movie is about.
But with Stowaway, I liked Stowaway. There were just a couple of problems I had with Stowaway.
Just a couple.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Just a couple. Just well, let me say a few. First of all, going to space with no backups of your key systems. From what I understand, with shuttles, you have at least 7 redundant backups of different computer systems, and then there was only one for the main that keeps you alive. That was kind of unrealistic.
I thought the guy
And then-
falling out of the room was a little unrealistic. It's like, I'm just here to twist this screw. Oops.
My
I'm now
goodness.
sent to Mars. I was like,
I'm amazed that I don't think they gave me a sufficient reason why he was there in the first place.
Never.
They never.
Never
Did I
dealt with
miss
it.
a sentence? Or something that somebody mentioned, but okay, he just fell out, and it was like he was in there. It wasn't like, okay, he was working on something, fell asleep. He was working on something, got hit in the head. He was just
it
there.
was like
And it's
Home
the
Alone.
title of the movie.
It was like Home
It's-
Alone, where the manager counts the number of people on the crew and is like, okay, everyone's accounted for, and like leaves
And-
the little boy alone.
And generally stowaways are trying to be on the ship to get away. He wasn't even trying to be on
That's
there.
what I kept waiting. I kept waiting for the big reveal of like he had a plan. You know what I mean? And he's going to Mars because
Had
it'll
a
get his sister a
ulterior motive
house.
or
Or
something. One part too, it made me that I didn't like. It kind of made him look really incompetent. That's the only Black representation we have on this film, and it's this incompetent guy that's stuck in a plane, stuck in a panel and falling out. That was kind of hard to swallow.
And then they spend an hour deciding how or why they're going to kill him.
Oh my
It-
God.
it-
Oh my
it-
God.
So I mean, we're laughing about this now. Like my wife, like I dragged the family to watch this movie because I actually liked the movie. There's problems with it, obviously, and like why the whole thing at the end with the why did you have to go outside? Why? Like there's problems with the movie. Like why didn't they turn around? There's all sorts of problems with the movie. But what I did like about the movie is the interaction of the characters, and I thought all 4 of them were really well played. Right.
Right.
and I enjoyed them together. But there were these lingering questions that were sort of
Those
like
questions.
Well, I also thought, Toni Collette's supposed to be this badass captain. I don't think she could get through a sentence without crying. And I was like, how did you even get through boot camp? I mean,
Oh my God.
trying to get over the wall and I just don't know. I just can't even. I was like, who are you?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Toni
yeah.
Collette felt like the guest star on Kojak in this movie a little bit. I'm making a reference for, you guys probably get it, but maybe our younger viewers don't. But she and I really like Toni Collette. She got the and of this movie, and Toni Collette. And I think they brought her in for like 2 weeks and shot her scenes, and she was like, going through it, and then left and was like, oh, that's what the movie. Oh, okay, right, gotcha. Okay, well, cool. I hope my stuff fits in. But all that aside, like I said, I really enjoyed the interplay of the characters. I liked my favorite character was actually Dr. Kim.
2 years is a long time to be away, but this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
I can learn fast.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We are taking the first steps to being able to call Mars a second home.
He's dedicated. He's going to prove that we can, terraform Mars. And then he has to give it all up to save them, to make enough oxygen for them to live. But if he kills this guy who's becoming close to him, I thought his character had the most interesting emotional journey. So I was really following him. I was like, I know somebody's got to die. I hope it's not him. Like that's it. I knew somebody had to buy it. And I was glad it wasn't him.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, with there were virtually no safety precautions. They were going out in space. They were tethered to each other. They didn't have anything connected them to the ship. And
the really important thing that they're supposed to bring back just floats away. I was like, someone didn't handcuff that to them.
I was, oh my God. I just threw my hands up at that point.
Tie that to the utility belt. I was like, maybe you should have, hooked that in. I don't.
My wife started screaming at that point.
Yeah.
That was when she started yelling, like, no. All right. So
a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some of our questions. We ask a couple of questions of films every week, Jarvis. So first one is, were there any Black people in these movies?
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
That was obvious.
Yeah,
Both of those.
Good. We made it on both of those. And Asians, we have a very prominent Asian character in Dr. Kim.
It's Stowaway.
Yeah. And not an archetype, I think, right? He was a real person who, like I said, went through I thought the most interesting emotional journey in the movie.
Yeah,
all right.
He sacrificed a lot. I mean, to give up your life's work, but the alternative was to die, even though it didn't turn out to work anyway. But it's the fact that he turned that corner and was like, okay, let me give this up for the greater good.
Yeah. Then we do the Bechdel test, which is, do women have a conversation? Are they fully drawn characters? And I'll put it up on the screen, and it's not about a man. I was thinking about this. Do we have like a deep conversation between Sandra Bullock and Toni Collette that
No, it's Anna Kendrick. You're thinking of Sandra Bullock because
sorry,
it's Gravity.
I do get them mixed
because
up.
it's just the same movie. Let's just throw everything together. No, they definitely have. I think it passes the Bechdel test in the sense that they're not talking about, a romantic relationship. But I think where the movie falls down is I don't know that the female characters are particularly well defined. I mean, again, I think Toni Collette was all tears. I mean, I think she was 98% tears in the movie, which is shocking to me given like her job, right? And then And Anna Kendrick, I don't know like why she was there actually. I mean, she was like a doctor, okay. She was almost like this super like woman. It was like these weirdly idealized like stereotypes of women, I felt like. She's like the caretaker, willing to die, like also can like, like does all the climbing, it's just kind of like, I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan. and then Toni Collette just sits in the corner and cries. I don't think she did anything, this woman. So there was that. And then outside the wire had just like the one missionary woman, I feel like it was like there's nobody.
Well, she was sort of in
the drone lady. I mean, the pilot at the end. Yeah. So I don't know.
Not a lot of struggling. There's not a lot of strongly drawn female characters. I'll go with you. I love it fried up in the pan. I love it. We are in it with our 70s references today. Ooh, showing our age. Cool. All right, so that's Black people and Bechdel test. How about we go to Florida now, and then we'll ask the big question of the day. What's going on in Florida?
Yeah,
Caroline?
what's going on in Florida? I did find, because there's always space stuff going on here. Security camera in Florida, because of course it's Florida, captures mysterious flying orbs of light. So I don't know if it's good. Yeah, look at that. That actually could just be a kite, as I was thinking of that. I was thinking, are they sure that's a mystery orb? That's maybe a gender reveal party or something. But maybe that's Anthony Mackie trying to tell us something from across the world or whatnot. But
cool. All right, then. Well, let's get to the question of the day. Jarvis Sheffield as our guest. We ask, which would you rather? Oh, she's asking if you could please subscribe and like this video. Thank you. Would you rather be trapped on the ship, maybe as the stowaway, maybe as the crying captain, maybe as Dr. Kim? You can pick who you want to be, but you're trapped on that ship going to Mars. Or would you rather be, I guess, the younger guy, we got to say, right? With Anthony Mackie sort of training you or trying to kill you or dragging you all over Africa and Eastern Europe.
I'd rather be Harp in Outside the Wire. His story was really engaging, and it was kind of a redemption story for him, for his character. And so that's why I like that, because he changed throughout the film. He wasn't this young cocky dude at the beginning that didn't care about responsibilities and his actions, and so he kind of turned a corner on that by the end of the movie.
Absolutely. I'll jump in and thoroughly agree. Though the one, we were picking on Stowaway for its unbelievability. They threw this guy who sat in a box and flew drones into armed combat immediately, and he lived. Bruce getting thrown into armed combat, it's gonna go bad. It's gonna go bad. So while I take Stowaway as well, because I don't want to be trapped on a tin can going to Mars with some really strange people, I will go Stowaway, but with hesitation. I mean, I will go Outside the Wire, but hesitantly, because I don't think it would go well for me. Caroline?
I feel like we're here in both of these cases, right? It's like we've got climate change that's pushing us off this planet, and then we've got AI that we're using with abandon, and we don't even know kind of what's in it. So I feel like, we don't even have a choice. Nonetheless, yes, of course I would pick Outside the Wire, because I would just hide the whole time. And I wouldn't fall for Anthony Mackie's like, hey, could you just press that button back there, press that button and release
take off my inhibitor.
I don't think I would do that. So I think I would be just fine. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. We have unanimous consent. here that we would all rather be with Anthony Mackie and Outside the Wire rather than trapped on a ship hurtling to Mars
tin
without
can.
life support. Yeah, right. Excellent, excellent. All right, that is our episode, Mr. Sheffield. Jarvis, what's coming up for you? What can you take us out on that we should let our viewers know about that you're doing?
Just to, if you haven't already, to join us on Black Science Fiction Society. Just join the site. It has it's interactive like Facebook, and you can post blogs, you can check out videos, you can join groups, you can chat with other people throughout the day and find some really good books and comics and videos and things of that nature. And so I want to encourage everybody to do that. And then also, shameless self plug, we have anthologies, 24 short stories in Genesis 1 and likewise with Genesis 2.
Nice.
And we also have Genesis Magazine. So definitely check out the website, join our groups, and find some great stuff to check out.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I think we've done it. So thank you very much, Jarvis, for being our guest on Would You Rather.
Thank you so much. This has been really fun.
Yeah, please come back and see us again another time.
Most definitely.
All right, and congrats on the big win.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I told, if I don't win anything else, I'm done. This is great. I'm fantastic.
Yeah, in the same sentence with Octavia Butler. Yeah, you did it. You won.